I know they did not just end that episode of Peacemaker like that, because that's just a crazy cliffhanger. You're telling me we gotta wait a week when I'm just sitting here itching to watch the next episode. But if you couldn't already tell, I just got done watching episode 3 of Peacemaker season 2, and so much happened in this episode. Insane reveals, crazy cameos, and a connection to a previous DC movie that everyone tried to forget about. And you know me, if I start seeing some dots, I'm gonna make them connect because I got a brain blast. I'm gonna be recapping and reviewing my honest spoiler thoughts of this episode, so if you're not trying to be spoiled, make sure you drop a like and follow, but come back after because I still do want to hear your thoughts. But either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. So we pick up with a flashback to 3 years ago as we see Hardcore hop up at the bed and turn her swag on. And James Gunn thinks he's slick, but I know exactly what you're doing with these type of shots. You're saying, see that? That's all me. But she looks out the window and I know that ain't who I think it is. That's right, we get the illustrious return of Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag Jr. And look at him, he's as old as the day we lost him. Peacemaker, what a joke. But the interesting things we learn in this scene, outside of the fact that Rick Flag Jr. and Amelia Harcourt are hooking up, we learn that he's cheating on June Moon with Amelia Harcourt because he's scared of breaking up with her because, you know, she's a freaky ass sorcerer, she's a 69 god. But also, this is a safe space, right? Don't come at me. You thought about it too. But does this confirm that Suicide Squad is canon to the new DC universe? No, but kind of. Because just a few seconds later, we learn that he ships out to Corto Maltese this same day. And then we get quick cuts of him getting packed up by Peacemaker again. So I think what this means is there's a June Moon out there, probably not played by Cara Delevingne, and these specific events didn't happen, but this is just a different universe, the DC universe. So just like what he did with The Suicide Squad, James Gunn is probably just picking and choosing characters and pieces of lore that he wants from these movies, like Harley Quinn, Boomerang, Amanda Waller, and Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag Jr. But I'm telling you, I feel like we're not far off from seeing other members of this version of Task Force X show up in Peacemaker Season 2. If we get King Shark in Peacemaker Season 2 just saying, bird! Hold on, he ain't got bird blindness. I just realized King Shark is immune to bird blindness. And I'm gonna lose my mind if we get any of these cameos though. But this also gives us more context onto why it's so hard for Harcourt to connect with Chris. Because Peacemaker fucking killed Rick Flag Jr., one of the dudes she was making love to. But moving on to the rest of the episode, Peacemaker wakes up from a drunken night drunk texting as we see more of his conversation with this universe's version of Harcourt. He wants to see her, she's hesitant, but she ultimately ends up agreeing to let him come see her at her job. And that's when we get a fun little scene between Chris and his brother where he gives him a pop quiz on shit so he just knows where to go and what he can use to drive to get there. We learn she works at Argus and he has his own peace cycle that he drives around. And on his way to Argus to go visit Harcourt, you can see that the people love me. They really love me. And you got people just flocking the streets, throwing up the peace sign, kids crying at the side of him and girls flashing him. He's over here like, this is the best dimension ever. So you just know there's gonna be some fucking crazy fucked up twist with what this universe really is. And then we get the juxtaposition with the rest of the 11th Street kids waking up hung over as shit, having to live their fucked up lives. But we see that Ads is poking Harcourt on what happened with her and Chris, as Adrian tells him his deepest, darkest secrets is knowing a bunch of facts about spiders and a bunch of animals and shit. While Adebayo keeps pressing Harcourt's buttons about Chris, he's in a different dimension with so much anxiety about having to be himself. Like he's actually worried that people are gonna think